Hello, it's Nienke here from Nienks.com, and I thought that I will show you some of the alternatives I did or I made with for the guys card kit. I just posted a video. The previous video was where I showed you the two designs that is in the kit. So I think I said it makes 8 cards, but it actually makes 10. So it makes 5 of each of these designs, and I showed you how to make them in the previous video. So it comes with a very nice stamp set that looks like this. It's got a lot of nice sentiments. You can use it for anything, for birthday, anniversary, thank you, and then it has all of the Father's Day, nephew, son, brother, uncle, friend, grandson. It's got a nice I love you and 2 fonts for dad, and then for all you do. So you can say just thank you for all you do, or to you dad, or thank you dad, or thank you brother or uncle. So it's a very nice nice sentiment set to put together, you know, for guys. And it's also got a nice neutral color, so that you can make 10 cards, 5 of each, if you only use the design as it comes in the kit. So then I thought, let's see if we can make some extra things with it. So I'm going to do I'll see how many I can do. Let me just move everything ready. Okay, so that is the stamp set. I got a crumb cake card base. I'm not sure, I think it is in the colors. Yes, crumb cake, gray granite, mint macaron, which we don't have anymore, mossy meadow, Sahara sand, which we don't have anymore, and then soft sea foam. So those 2 colors retired, mint macaron and Sahara sand. I still have them, so I'll be using some of that, but you can substitute with something else. But my guess is that these kits that's currently in the online store with retired colors are probably not going to be restocked. So if there's a kit in the online store with the retired colors that you really like, I would think that you should get them now before they're gone, because like I said, the colors are retired, they won't be restocked, and I don't think these kits will be restocked with the old colors. Okay, so we just have a standard card base of crumb cake, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, and then I have these pieces. Okay, so this came from this card pieces. Let me just move this out of the way so I can explain to you what is happening. Okay, so this was that card, and it came in a whole piece, just like, you know, like this. I just cut that piece straight in the middle, so it's literally all of these elements cut right in half. Okay, so let's see what that is about. So I cut it at, if you use the edge of your paper over here, and this is a 0 right there, it looks like just a smidge more than 2.25. I would say 5/8, 2 5/8. Okay, and then I just cut it straight down the middle, not even popping them out of their backing. And then I did the same with the little trees you get on a different one, and I just measured the little tree and cut it straight in the middle of the element. Now we can pop these out, and this card should come together nice and quickly. There's one other thing, we're going to do some dry embossing. So there you go. My tip will be definitely to cut them before you pop them out of this. The other thing is with the first one, because I did it the way I have a full piece of this that I didn't cut yet, and I'm going to use these pieces as masking. So there's just one tip. If you want to do the second alternative card that I'll show you either in this video or the next one, then keep one of these connected to each other. Okay, so let's put this together as it is. Now in the kit we used glue dots. You can use the glue dots again. I am just going to add it with some liquid glue. So it is the Sahara sand piece first, and then let me just get my silicone craft mat, because I don't like getting glue on my surface, and this is amazing. You just wait for the glue to dry, and then you can just wipe it off. get that bottoms lined up nicely. So that is first part. So this is just exactly the same way we put it together on our card as in the kit, and we're going to use this as our focal point, so you'll be able to make 2 cards using this. And the trees. Now the focal point will obviously look a little bit different for each one, but that is fun too. There we go. Have our trees, and this is a nice thick layer right there, but we're going to pop it up anyway. I have a piece of the linen thread or any piece of twine that you have. Now I want to grab a glue dot. You can use the glue dots in the kit. I'm just using these. Where should actually tear that part off actually. Okay, so I roll this, just roll it up with my nail, and then add that part there, and then I just check where I want this, fold it over, and then stick it to the back. I want it a little bit lower. There we go. And now with the second one, I'm just going to snip this up because I want to make my knot with the piece that's left over. Grab this one, stick my glue dot there, fold this over. Now you can wrap it all around and then just tie your knot right here. I like to save some of my twine. You do what's easiest for you. So I have this little piece here, and I just thread that under and then make a little knot right. Whoop, come on. A little knot right there and pull it through. And the thing with this is you can just, pull your knot whichever way you want it. If you want it a little bit more to the left or a little bit more to the right, you can do that. I might snip this a little bit shorter in a minute, but for now that is fine. So that is actually the focal point right there. Now let's do some embossing. So this is a piece just from the envelope. You can see the curved part is the back of the envelope. I just cut that off at, let's quickly see. So it looks like 3 3/4, and then it's about just over 1/2 inch at its thickest point, but it doesn't matter because it's just the curved piece. We're not really going to use that curved part as we're going to line up the elements like that. Okay, so let's do our heat embossing. So we will need our Versamark ink and our stamp. Going to heat, not birthday, happy. There we go. So we're going to heat emboss the word happy. I would say about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch from your left side. We have our embossing buddy. We use the embossing buddy to take away all of the oils from your hands that might be sticking to the paper. That will cause the embossing powder to stick to the paper. I like to just pack it back in its little Ziploc bag. I don't want that powder all over my hands. Some people don't mind. I don't really like that powdery feeling. I know that we need it for this. So we're inking up with the Versamark. Oh, let's just grab this out of here. I'm going to use my tweezers because I don't want to really touch that piece again. And like I said, about 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch away. Just going to put our happy right there, and then dump it into our powder like that. And then I'm just going to put all of this away quickly. Oh, I just had to reset my camera mount there. I saw it was sagging for some other reason. Sorry about that. I hope it is better now. Just keep an eye on that. Anyway, so then I'm just going to brush off some of this extra powder here and there. Be careful not to brush over your words. There we go. Because if you have any of these little white powders left, they will get melted and stay there. There we go. That looks good. I need to shake this off. And grab my heat tool. If it's too loud, I'll probably just mute for a little bit. There we go. Now that is all nice and shiny. Just give that a little minute to cool down. Okay, now we're going to bring in our card base again. Powdery. And I'm going to glue, before I actually glue that, I'm going to stamp on here because I don't want to glue everything down and then realize I made a mistake with the stamping. Sometimes I do that anyway, but for the purpose of the video, let's just sort of place this here where we want it so that we know where we want to stamp. And our focal image will be somewhere there. This will be somewhere here. Okay, I'm going to grab Mossy Meadow ink. And the word birthday. No, I'm going to say happy birthday. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to say Father's Day. Never mind. Happy Father's Day. You can do happy birthday if you want. And I see that's entirely not straight. So let's try and straighten that up a bit before we attempt this. That looks better. So happy Father's Day. As Father's Day is just around the corner, I'm focused on making a couple more. I'm just going to pull this to me to try and get this sort of straight. And I'm going to try and stamp that right in the center-ish of my card front. Just give it a minute. I don't really rock. I'm just making sure I get all the edges, and then I give the ink just a couple of seconds to absorb into the paper, and that looks pretty good to me. If you don't want to stamp straight on the card front, or you want it to be exactly in the middle, you can use a Stamparatus if you have one, or still have one, or any other stamp positioning tool. When I mass produce, I usually use that because it is just so convenient. Okay, now we can go ahead and add our elements. I'm just going to stick these flat to the card front. Oops, like so. Get that sort of straight. And then this one, and then I'm going to pop up. So I'm putting it flush to the left side. So happy Father's Day, and that I'm going to pop up using some dimensionals. And here's the dimensionals from the kit. Don't really want to put it on top. If you want to secure that, I want to say thread, twine, you can. And let's do 1, 2, and 1 in the middle. There we go. And we're going to put this right in the middle, and as always, sort of straight. That looks good. Okay. There we go. This one is really, it's nice and thick at the bottom with all of these layers. Okay. So there we go. That is my first alternative using the For the Guys card kit. Today we're going to use the negatives. So I showed you how I cut these in half to make those these ones. For the first one, where I just used the entire piece, I just popped it out like this. Okay, so it comes in a sheet like that, and then these are for the trees. Okay, now I'm going to use these as stencils to make the next alternative card. Okay, so let's jump in and grab the pieces. So we just need some scraps of crumb cake, and then this is the envelope I cut up. It's a piece that measures 1.5 by 4.25, I think 1.5 by 4.25, and it's just from the envelope flap. Cut that off. This is the actual card base. So the card base is this sort of Sahara sand, lighter color. It's got a greenish, doesn't feel like really vanilla. It's got a bit of a greenish tint. So it's a card base, and I just cut that down to 4 by, I think 3.75. Yes, no, 3.5. 4 by 3.5. Okay, the actual card base. And then I'm bringing another piece, card base. It is Mossy Meadow. That's a coordinating color in the kit. So very quick, easy, and simple. But with the masking, you will see it turn out very nice. Card base, we're going to use this just as a element in the back, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the masking. So I would say about 1/2 inch from the edge from the left edge. Just move this down a bit. Looks not totally straight at the bottom. There we go, like that. And we're going to use this piece to do the masking on. So the colors is gray granite, which is this piece here, and then Sahara sand. I'm actually going to use crumb cake for this one. So let's start with the bigger image and put it right to the edge. So I'm using, just putting it right to the edge of there, and then just sticking everything down. Let me just quickly think. I actually want it up higher. Hold on. I'm going to, because this is the back image, I'm going to stick it a little bit higher. There we go. Okay. Because I want this to be the tallest mountains in the back, and it's, like I said, Sahara sand, but you can always do this one in crumb cake and then the gray granite, and then I'm going to do Mossy Meadow. So Mossy Meadow, gray granite, and crumb cake is still colors that's current. You can use those. I have Sahara sand, so I'm going to use that for my first layer. If you have Sahara sand, use that, or you can, like I said, use the crumb cake for your first layer and then gray granite for the next one. I just have a sponge dauber that you can get in the supplies, and then I want it to be darker and then going in lighter. Now if you put your dauber down just like that, it's going to make that little circle. If you don't like that, start off your piece and then just go in soft little circles. Okay, then it won't make that harsh lines. I for this one actually like the round images it makes, so I'm going to actually daub it, starting by daubing like this, and then the darkest color at the top and then moving down lighter. I like the texture that gave, so for this one I don't mind those round circles. It's all preference. You can do what you want. So now that I feel like I have sort of the base, now I'm going to go and blend it all in. Okay, and I want the top to be darker, so I'll start at the top and then move it down. So as you move down, you sort of run out of ink and it gets lighter. Like I said, you will see how when we're done, that texture of this little dottage works with this, with what I'm doing here. Okay, I don't mind the bottom because there's going to be layered other colors over the top. Just want to add some more color here. Okay, so now holding this, I'm just going to peek and look how pretty that looks. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece here and just clean my dauber, because I'm going to use the same dauber for my crumb cake. They're both neutrals and sort of in the same family, Sarah Sand and crumb cake. So I'm happy to do that. Now let's use this one. I'm going to do the next layer of mountains. I may want to move it down a little bit more. There we go. Like that. Like I said, I'm using crumb cake for this one, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Okay, holding this, I'm just going to pick this up and see how I like it. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to leave that there, grab our mossy meadow and our trees. There we go. Okay, now we'll see how this looks. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So there we did an entire mountain scene. And now you see what I like about that little extra texture right there. Okay, I love that. Love that. Okay, now this will be our focal point on our card. Bring that back. And we're going to pop this up. I struggle popping up DSP because it's very thin, sort of. And I don't want it to sag, but because this was the card base, it's got more substance to it. So I'm happy doing that. Dimensionals, here we go. So I use quite a bit of dimensionals. You can pick how many you want to use. Some people just use a couple. I usually go a bit overboard with them. And that's just fine for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. See? Total overboardness. Okay. But I don't want it to sag. I want it to be nice and straight. Oh, you know what? I want to add some twine before now I have everything sticky. This one and this one. Yeah, okay. But hold on, I want to add some twine. Going to do the same as I did with the other one. Just measure. Want it on this side, like so. I'm just going to use a glue dot. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to use a glue dot. Where's my glue dots? Grab a glue dot right here. Add it there. And same here. Grab a glue dot. Add it right there, maybe. There we go. And you can always manipulate this a bit, but I actually like it exactly where it is. Squeeze that down. Okay, now we can add this. So I'm just checking that it's sort of, these edges are about 1/2 inch, the same as this one. I feel like it's too high up. Hold on. So 1/2 inch top and bottom, and that side. Yeah, that looks good. And then we're just going to that down, and now I just want a little piece of that, and then we'll do our stamp our sentiment. What do I usually take? About 2 inches. Yeah, 2. Yep, exactly 2 inches for this piece. Put it right here. And just make a little knot. Oh, and I'm not doing any other embellishments except the twine, because I feel like we want to keep it as masculine as possible. Now we need our little scrap piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp happy birthday. Now again, you can stamp happy Father's Day, or to grandpa, or thank you for all you do, whatever you want. You can also stamp it on a die cut piece. Birthday, I want this one to say happy birthday, a nice masculine card, and then I'm going to cut it out. There we go. Love the fonts. You can also heat emboss this if you want. And I'm just going to cut it close to the words in a little. If you don't feel like you can do this with your scissors, you can use your trimmer. I'm happy to just cut it out like that. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the birthday. There we go. Get rid of all this. And I'm just going to put that right there, like that. Let's put the birthday sort of straight. Yes, we can, and now we can move this down a bit, should we want. And I also think I'm just going to trim that one down a smidge. Because this is already popped up, I don't mind having the words flat. There we go. Just like that. So isn't that fun? So there is another alternative for this kit. So we did this one and this one as two alternatives to the kit. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will just see you in the next one. Bye bye.